aren't able to make it. And if you ever need to go back, you can watch any of our hub meetings. Welcome to our February hub meeting, our February Patient Family Partnership hub meeting. My name is Laura Jackson. I'm the Director of Community at PFCC Partners. So some of our Zoom features, as you may recognize. We have the chat function. You're more than welcome to chat during the meeting using the chat box. You can also direct message someone. We do have live transcript or captions available, and you can have those visible. And we do have the reactions. If you'd like to raise your hand and come into the discussion, you're more than welcome to. And then we do also have Emily on, who is interpreting to Spanish, and you can do that by clicking head to the Spanish channel if you need it by clicking the little globe at the bottom and hitting Spanish to join that Spanish channel. And like I said, we are recording and that live transcript is available. This is our agenda for today. We'll do some welcomes, we'll do some introductions, and then Lindsay will go over some objectives and key results from LA County. And then we do want to hear from you. We want to know what would make healthcare better for you in LA County. And that will be our discussion today. And then we'll take another look at the online community forum, since we do have a new place for it, a new home for it. We'll show you that. So I'll go ahead and pass it over to Mike for this introduction.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, welcome to our February Patient and Family Partnership Hub Community Conversation. Again, thank you so much for taking time from your day and joining us. Please know that we appreciate and value your time tremendously, and you are helping shape healthcare services for all our LA County community. Welcome everyone, bienvenidos a todos. In a minute, we'll do introductions. In addition to our PFCC partners joining us today is Emily Tell from Green Translations, who will be helping us today by simultaneously translating our conversation in Spanish, and vice versa. We'll be helping our Spanish-speaking patient family advisors join in our conversation. Today, we aim to have a conversation really to see what we could do better, and also review some of the goals and activities that we have planned and for this coming year to continue to strengthen our patient family advisory community. And we'd like to kind of get your insight, your shared experience to seeing how we could do them better. My name is Miguel Renteria, and I go by Mike, and I'm an improvement advisor for DHS. My work evolves on patient experience and supporting our culture of patient-family engagement throughout our health system. This slide that you're seeing is an overview of our vision, mission, and goals. Our mission is to advance the health of our patients and our communities by providing extraordinary care. Our goals range from transforming our system to provide cost-effective care of the whole patient across the continuum, optimize clinical quality and patient experience, to have a high-performing workforce, and ensure financial viability in support of our vision. Today, we're moving towards our mission by advancing on our strategic goal of providing high-quality care and patient experience through engaging your voice to help us in our work. Your voice, your views, and insights are incredibly important to our work, so thank you again for taking time off your day and joining us here this afternoon. Next slide. Laura, I'll pass it back over to you.
Thank you, Mike. Like I said, my name is Laura Jackson. I'm the Director of Communities at PFCC Partners, Patient Family Centered Care Partners. We have myself and Lindsay Galley on as well. And our mission at PFCC Partners is to center the inclusive human experience of health, reinvent through radical collaboration, be a catalyst for system transformation. Our vision is a health system transformed, one that works people and through communities as a partner in their well-being. Our values are equity, inclusion, diversity, collaboration, and being solution focused. And this is our patient, this group here is our patient family partnership hub. I like this graphic of how it explains the hub. So we have the patient family advisory councils across DHS. There's 11 of them. And then on the outside of that, we have this hub. So anyone who is a member of those advisory councils is more than welcome to come join us in the hub to be kind of inclusive of all of LA County Department of Health Services. All right, we will do some introductions. I am Laura. I am calling in from Eugene, Oregon, but our offices are down in Long Beach, California. And our check-in question today is, if you could have any superpower, what would it be? Mine, I would be, my superpower, if I could have any superpower in the world, it would be teleportation. I'd want to go anywhere at a drop of a hat. Let's go to Belinda.
Okay,
Belinda.
all right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Belinda, are you on?
She could be having some microphone.
Yeah,
We could go to the next person.
yeah, I think so. I was trying to go through the different chats to see, or channels, English and all that. Thank you. Okay. Oh, and do check if the Spanish channel is functioning. Do we know if the Spanish channels, does everyone have the globe at the bottom of on their menu for interpretation?
I just went over there and it is working. I'll put the note into the chat on how to get there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so Belinda says her system isn't allowing her to speak. Belinda, feel free to add what superpower you'd like to have in the chat. Let's go to Maria.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Hello.
Mi nombre es María Vázquez y precisamente hoy recibí la noticia de que mi mamá se me había caído y se le descompuso su cadera y se le quebró una mano y necesita operación, pero ella no quiere operarse, entonces
My mom fell today and I received the news that she broke her hand, and she's 87 years old, and they told her that it was very difficult. I'm really sorry. I just wanted to share that information.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing, Maria. I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, thank you for joining us today, though. I know it's tough. We appreciate you being here today. Thank you so much. Ray?
Hi, yes, my name is Ray Pizarro. I'm calling from San Pedro. I work at Rancho Los Amigos National Rehab Hospital. in Downey, and I guess superpower would be to have all the knowledge in the world.
That's a good one.
Just to be able to share it with others if I could.
I love
That's
that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ray. Michelle?
Hi, everyone. I am just here to listen, gain some knowledge and some education and some information, because I do have my own struggles I need to learn how to sort out, and I'm just trying to figure it out. That's why I'm here.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Okay.
Hopefully we can help. Lindsay?
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Lindsay Galley. I'm the Vice President of Programs at PFCC Partners. I am calling in from stormy Sacramento, California. I know it's pretty wet down there in Southern California too. I don't know if I could have any superpower. I know what my son's answer would be, so I'll go with that. It would be firepower. He wants the ability to pyro, light anything on fire. It's pretty funny.
Nice. Thank you. And Mike?
Hi, everyone. My name is Mike Renteria. I'm calling from the San Fernando Valley. And just looking at the chat here, I love Belinda's superpower of love would spread like peanut butter. Absolutely. I love peanut butter. You know, if I had to choose a superpower, what would it be? I think it would probably be flying. You know, just fly everywhere instead and avoid the California or the LA traffic for the most part. Thanks.
That would be very nice. Thank you. Thanks, Mike. All right. We'll go ahead. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We'll go ahead and move on. And I'm going to pass it over to Lindsay.
Thank you, Laura. I know I just said it was storming, but now the sun's coming up, so it's pretty crazy over here. I really quickly just wanted to share before we get into, more conversation and learn a little bit more about each other, about some of the goals for engaging patients and family caregivers at the health centers and the hospitals in the Department of Health Services in LA County. And how we do that is we use a goal setting system called objectives and key results, or we call them OKRs. So on the next slide, I just have like a glimpse of what that looks like. I don't want to get into too much detail because it can be kind of confusing, but just so you have kind of a general idea. So what we do every year when we're planning out, what we're going to focus on for that year at DHS and, how patients and family caregivers are engaged at DHS, whether it's in, their own care with their doctors or nurses or other people on their care team, or, if it's in, as Laura mentioned earlier, those patient family advisory councils that are working on ways to improve care locally at the health centers and hospitals or across DHS, which is what we're doing here. So the way we set it up, we typically have 3 objectives. So those are kind of our overarching goals. And under each objective are 3 to 5 key results. When we achieve those key results, we know that we have met the objective and therefore have met our goals. So we are right in the time right now where we are developing our goals for 2023. And we really wanted to kind of gain some insight from the patients and family caregivers at DHS. We did present these to staff, so healthcare staff at DHS who are working in or working with engaging patients and families. And we thought, we need to hear from both sides. So why not bring it here today? So on the next slide, I just have a few examples of our current objectives and key results. I realize I didn't update the top of this slide, but these are all three of our objectives and a few examples under each one of how we might achieve those. So the first is expand patient-family partnerships, just in general. So that could really mean, growing this community that we have here. I'm so grateful that all of you are here. But, we need to expand the voices that we're hearing at DHS to really ensure that, improvements and how care at DHS is being designed and delivered is really meets the needs of every patient. And that's what each of you have the power to do, is use your experiences, your perspectives, your voices, your stories to really make a change at in healthcare delivery at DHS. So we want to expand that. And one of the ideas that we had was hosting a patient community open house and, inviting patients and family caregivers and community members to come together, hopefully in person. I think we're inching closer and closer to being in person, but to meet one another, hear each other's experiences, and just to help grow as a community. And Michelle, I see your hand up. Please feel free to stop me at any time.
Well, I had a question. Who is DHS? Like, from my understanding, are you guys an umbrella over Medi-Cal? Like, who is DHS?
That's a great question, Michelle, and a good one to start with. DHS is the Department of Health Services in Los Angeles County. And Mike, who works at DHS, might be able to elaborate on the relationship with Medi-Cal, but from our understanding, the Department of Health Services, it is, I'm not going to remember the number, but under the Department of Health Services, there are many health centers and a few hospitals. So the health centers are where you would receive that kind of regular care and checkups, hospitals where you need to go for more urgent care. So it's a healthcare system.
I'm just trying to understand, are you guys trying to make a connection, a direct connection with patients or the community, or is this just informational?
Oh no, we're definitely trying to make that direct connection, and we're happy that all of you are here because we want to hear from patients, the community and family caregivers about, how we can, how care can be improved specifically at DHS.
Good question. Thank you, Michelle. And Lindsay, thank you. So the Department of Health Services encompasses our four hospitals, which is LAC USC Medical Center, Rancho Los Amigos National Rehabilitation Center, Olive UCLA Medical Center, and Harbor UCLA Medical Center. And like Lindsay mentioned, we also have 26 health centers across LA County, going from our high desert communities all the way to our coastal communities in Long Beach. And like how Lindsay mentioned, I think ultimately we want to continue to strengthen our patient-family advisory community and really kind of just looking at ways to be able to do that, right? And engage in conversation here today.
Yeah, and those, so Mike mentioned and thank you, Mike. I knew you had the right numbers that I couldn't remember, but so locally at each of those health centers that Mike had mentioned and at the hospitals, there are patient-family advisory councils. So groups of patients, family caregivers, community members who come together with staff locally to, work through challenges, barriers, access to care, share their ideas on what can be improved at their health center, whether it's taking a look around and the signage doesn't make sense. You know, a patient really has a unique perspective. So that's what we're looking to expand across DHS for the local health centers and hospitals and their advisory councils. And then what we're doing here is really looking at more DHS wide activity. So improvement projects that are that DHS staff is looking to implement that could potentially improve care across all of those health centers and hospitals. That's
Can I speak again?
absolutely, Michelle. Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to take up overstep anybody, you know.
Oh,
So
the more questions, the better.
okay. I have gripes and complaints and I can't figure out what to do. So do I share it with the community on this online thing, or do I wait till it's over to get some direction?
I think if it's specific to your personal experiences,
Yes.
then let's connect afterwards and we can
Okay.
put you in the right direction. I think here we're kind of looking for more global kind of challenges and just perspectives and hearing from your own lived experiences. So if those your gripes that you have are related to what we're talking about, and we have a conversation starter in just a minute where I think you'll be able to share a little bit more too.
Okay. Thank you.
No, great questions, Michelle. Keep them coming. And Mike, I don't know if you had any other information about, you know, where complaints or grievances can go, or we can just follow up with Michelle after.
No, happy to follow up with Michelle after. Michelle, if you ever have any complaints, please, you know, each of our health center groups, as well as our hospitals, have patient relations offices. Please always feel free to contact them, or even contacting our patient access center, whose number you will usually find on any of our marketing materials or correspondence. They too will be able to take on any of those notes as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely follow up. All right, well, I'm looking forward to chatting more and learning more from all of you. So I'm just going to quickly go through these last two. The next one is strengthening patient-family engagement as a strategy. So our main goal is, you know, whenever a staff member at DHS has an idea that, you know, maybe it's they want to improve waiting room times and the amount of time that patients are spending in the waiting room. We want the first thing they think of to be, let me talk to patients and families about this first. So that engagement and like bringing in patients and family caregivers into those projects, we want to see that as, you know, the first strategy that these teams within healthcare who are working on improving healthcare for all patients, that's the first thing that they that they think of is, you know, before we implement this or before we make this change, we should really talk to patients and families. And so one of the ways we want to do that is creating a communication strategy. So that means putting together communications, you know, emails, speaking at DHS staff meetings, things like that, where we can promote this community of patients and families and the local advisory councils to say, you know, this is a resource that's available to you and this is how you can utilize the perspectives of patients and families, and this is why it's so important. Yeah, Ray?
Yes, a good conversation, or I guess a conversation starter, to be able to communicate with family and patients, maybe at a waiting room or at the facilities, is maybe open it up to asking them if there was a organization or a committee available for you guys, patients and family members, to improve our services,
Mm-hmm.
And you having direct a direct engagement, would you be interested in participating or
Mhm.
becoming a part of this type of committee?
Yeah,
And if we present it like that, some people might be more inclined to say, I would love to, or yes, or it'd be a good idea.
mhm,
Then surprising them with there is such a council, and some are just forming, or some are getting new members
mhm.
to be able to grow. Would you be interested in gathering information
Yeah,
of how to become a part of that committee? I think it's a good way of engaging where it shows a welcoming mat or welcoming door for them to see what it's all about, and them also empowered. They feel empowered at the same time to have that positive impact. And at the same time is it's okay. It's actually constructive criticism
right.
to be able to talk about their issues they're having with the facilities, with doctors, with nurses. But also at the other side, it's healthy to try to come up with solutions as well, or thinking about how they could fix these things.
Right.
This way it gets their you know their mind turning, the motors turning to affect change.
Yeah. I really like how you framed that, Ray. So, if there was this incredible resource available to you, would you be a part of it? And then surprising them. But you're absolutely right. And I was thinking back to Michelle, mentioned the kind of gripes that you're having, the challenges and struggles. So, being able to see those challenges that you're having, and that more than likely you're not the only one having them. And that's where this partnership comes into place, is by sharing your own struggles and challenges with the healthcare system. It opens the door to then improve them or make changes that could improve them, so that doesn't happen for other patients or other family caregivers that are coming behind you. So yeah, I really like that framing, Ray, and something that we'll work with the local advisory councils on, and the messaging. I like that a lot. Okay, the final objective that we have is to develop staff capacity for patient-family engagement. We have done a lot of this over the past few years in, providing resources, information, education, training to DHS staff about what patient-family engagement is, what a patient-family advisory council is, how it can be utilized as a resource to make improvements in healthcare. But the ever-changing world that we're in, there has been a lot of staff turnover. So we have new people in roles who are what we call patient-family engagement champions, or the people that are the staff members that are managing and facilitating those advisory councils. And, just across DHS, providing more information about patient-family engagement, patient-family engaged care, just to continue to grow the momentum that we already have and get people excited about partnering with patients and families on their improvement projects, or, whatever that might be. So one idea that we had was to do a peer learning event with existing patient-family engagement champions. So, Ray, yourself, Carlos, I think of Leslie Martinez at LAC USC, who is their PFE champion and has done so much incredible work there with their advisory council, and others as well. But being able to connect them with those who are just coming into the role so they can learn from each other and kind of figure out some of those best practices, what's worked for them, what hasn't, and just continue to grow staff's knowledge and understanding and capacity for patient-family engagement locally. So I wanted to share that just as kind of what we're thinking to focus on for the next year. But I think on the next slide, we have kind of a conversation starter that, you know, we'd like to hear more specifically from you. What would make healthcare better for you in LA County? So it may relate to some of those goals that I just mentioned, it may not. But we also want to, you know, create goals around engaging patients and families that are relevant, of course, to all of you. So Laura, I'll pass it back to you to facilitate this discussion. I don't know where you want to start.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, so like Lindsay said, we want to get to know you all better, and we want you to get to know each other a little bit better. And one way we do that, while also, like Lindsay said, adding to LA County Department of Health Services, and one way we can add our voice is just by stating what you would like, what would make healthcare better for you in LA County. One way we ask this question is if you had a magic wand. So if you had a magic wand, what would make healthcare better for you? So we can go ahead and get started. Feel free to raise your hand or come off mute and let us know. Laura, go ahead.
Hi. I think one of the things that would make healthcare better would be if we could reduce some of the wait time. I know that a lot of times we have, you know, I am a director at a homeless shelter in Echo Park. And I know that when we ask people to go in, one of the things is the long waits that, you know, while they're, you know, I think part of it is it goes back to a big education piece, right? Where if you have a primary care provider and somebody who is managing your healthcare, it's a lot easier. But when people use the emergency room and or the urgent care as their only means of securing any or getting any type of medical assistance, then they, you know, they get put off because of the long waits, and they feel like it's a very impersonal you know, experience for them. So I think that that is something that maybe we could work on.
Thank you. Yes, most definitely. Reducing wait times in any capacity is very, very important.
And I definitely I think that's a great one, Laura. And I think the people who are experiencing those long wait times would have some great ideas. You know, if they could see what's causing the long wait, you know, they probably have some really creative ideas being outside of those processes to say, you know, that this stuff that you're doing here doesn't really impact me, but it's impacting the time that I'm spending in the waiting room. So I think that's a great opportunity.
Totally.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Ray?
Yes, also allowing the, I guess, healthcare providers to share more wellness therapies, holistic approaches to enhance their recovery on top of their therapies, not just sticking to drugs and rehab necessarily, but also being resourceful and working with nutritionists maybe, or certain outdoor gyms or pool therapy, things of that sort, to be able to I guess improve or maintain their health longer. I think that'll help not only the patients but everyone with their wellness overall.
Yeah, I like that, working with almost outside resources outside of their direct offices or hospitals. Yeah, I like that, and it would make it more accessible as well. Thank you, Ray. Any other thoughts or ideas?
I might ask Michelle at this time, you know, based on the challenges that you shared that you're having, what would make it better?
Yeah.
Or what would help those current challenges or gripes, as you mentioned? And Michelle, if you're sharing, you're on mute, but if you're not in a place to share right now, that's okay too.
Might not be able to.
And I see Belinda's comment. I do think doctors need to try and keep the appointment times better, and listen to the patient's comments. Yeah, appointment times. I remember taking my son to one of his appointments, and I get to the office, of course, a few minutes before, because you always do.
Right.
And they had this sign up, and his doctor was 45 minutes behind. I was like, so we're gonna wait for 45 minutes. So yeah, I agree. And I know some organizations work on like texting the options, so they could text you when you have 10 minutes left until your doctor is ready to see you and things like that. But I agree that can be a challenge. And especially thinking about the doctors and the 40 patients they have to see in a day for 15 minutes. There are so many more system kind of challenges that even the doctors are under. But I think it's definitely a good point. And I think this whole conversation is just a great way to help us think, based on our experiences, what do we hope can make healthcare better, and how can we partner? How can we be a partner in healthcare to say, this is something that is really important to me. I hear a lot of other patients struggle with, what, asking the doctors and physicians, why is it hard to keep appointments on time, and learning. So then we can, then you go back to our own lived experiences and shed more light on why it's important to us to have our appointments on time. I think that's a great comment, Belinda.
Mm-hmm. We've done a lot too with the portal. And I think that's, like you said, sending out times and stuff, definitely something we can work on with that team as well. I see Ray's chat says have more transportation options to go in to see your healthcare providers. Absolutely. More accessible transportation is very, very important. Write some notes down.
And Ray, I know at Rancho, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the advisory council there has worked on transportation support for patients. Am I wrong there?
No, you're correct. We work close together with Access Services and the southern region, since it falls under that district, that area. And we have they're the biggest, I guess the largest pickups and drop-offs are at the hospital there at Rancho. So we work and really diligently there. They have an open door to us, as we to them, to iron out different issues that pop up right away, like coming up with different stops for the facility. I think we were able to open 3 up, 1, 2, and 3, and also providing proper signage. Mm-hmm. And that's still, like, we're still working on that, because there's different entrances to the hospital. So we can make things easier for the patients to navigate, not only into, but when they leave, and find out where their proper stand is very important. to us. And I know some insurances also provide transportation. So educating patients on reaching out to their, I guess, managed care is important, because I know LA Care provides transportations to their patients, but not everyone falls under the LA Care. They might have different healthcare under their Medicaid that's connected to their Medicare, I'm sorry. So it's also a good idea to get informed and see if they have something available to have more options, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Ray. And Laura, you mentioned you work with people experiencing homelessness. I'm curious if that is a challenge to transportation and getting to the doctor and access issues, things like that.
Yes, transportation's an issue, and then also because of the limited beds that are available, sometimes they've been uprooted from their original place where they used to live. So, and then for our participants that are fleeing domestic violence, sometimes that loss of coverage and or being able to work around coverage issues, or waiting for the 45 days for a CalWORKS DPSS case to get approved. Now, I do know that, if they need medical treatment, they can go in and then they can always do retroactive Medi-Cal. So it does help that, I have a little bit of a background in some Medi-Cal coverage. So I'm able to tell them, and also they can always work with the finance department. So there's always ways to work with on that. But, them not knowing how to navigate, I think those are some of the challenges.
Absolutely. Yeah. Navigating healthcare and Medi-Cal and everything that goes into it. Yeah, I think you need like a good understanding of how it all works to be able to do that effectively. So even having, and I know community health workers are a big resource as well. I know some organizations have patient navigators to help people navigate the system. But, you have to be knowledgeable and understand that those resources are available to you, and not everybody does. So maybe more promotion and just communicating those resources.
Yeah, access hours are also a concern, because when people are trying to, sometimes when people are trying to, regain their footing, and after having some instability, just having office hours that are appropriate for them, after work and after they pick up their children, so that becomes an access issue.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah. Thank you. And Emily, are you able to translate or interpret, sorry, Maria's comment?
Yeah, so Maria said, personally, I've been asked for more available therapists, despite the 24-hour telephone line. There are people who would like that in person.
Gotcha. So more access to therapists.
Yeah.
Healthcare.
Yeah, and then although that they're virtually available, that some people want it in person. That's what the comment says.
Yeah. I could see that too. People want that face-to-face interaction. I'm sorry, my son is joining me.
Yeah, I agree that people need that face-to-face, especially nowadays after not having it for so long. It's definitely important to not just have those therapists online or over the phone.
Yeah, and I think that it goes back to, Ray, and thinking about the other resources in your community, looking at that whole person healthcare So like exercise and, you know, nutritionists and where those are available within your community. And mental health is a part of that kind of whole person care. And I know that access to mental health is a real challenge. So that's a good point. And that in-person interaction too. I hear that, Maria.
Mhm. Do you have any other thoughts or ideas?
This is Michelle again.
Hi,
I just have a comment. It's like a thought though.
go for
So,
it.
so it's about the gripe thing and the complaint thing. If you are a patient, you have the service, it's great, it's going beautiful, you have what you need. But then there are things that you need to complain about, right?
Mhm.
And then either it's a complaint or you're going to get what you need in order not to complain. That's all I need to say. And I'm just trying to say there's other things going on besides the beautiful patient and doctor relationship, you know, outside of the doctor's office that the doctor could help you with, or a social worker in the doctor's office or the hospital can help you with, besides being referred to mental health, because you can't sort out your own life problems.
Yeah, I think, and yeah, Michelle, I definitely hear what you're saying. And it is a point. I hear you. Is what I'm trying to say. You know, it's more than, well, it's part of healthcare. It's the things outside of what you're going to seek healthcare professional for, that, you know, our doctors, those people that we typically trust. Sometimes there's not a lot of that trust building, but that they can connect you with resources that could help you, you know, in your life, I guess to say. And one of the things we're working on in a different project is, you know, how hospitals are connecting people with resources that they need outside of the hospital. And it's part of keeping people healthy, but not directly related to healthcare, but there are those resources out there. And I see Laura's comment, and I think, yeah, that's definitely part of it. It's the links with the non-physical mental health support that people need. I won't say patients, because, you know, we're all people here. And we all, you know, can find ourselves in situations where we need some of that. Laura, I think you said it perfectly, that non-physical support.
One more comment, and then I think I'm done with the comments.
That's all, you're great. Keep them going.
Okay, thank you. So if it's gonna be kind of a little bit personal, so you guys can know it's what I'm saying instead of just kind of not saying what I'm going through. So if you're dealing with a caseworker, social worker, or something, you don't like the way they're doing things, it's affecting your health, then you make a complaint to DHS, because I don't know if DHS is over LA County or LA County is over DHS. I don't know who to complain to. But what I do know, it affects me. I affect my community, my neighbors, whatever, myself, my own self. And that's kind of that's the story, like kind of the story without going into details.
Yeah. Yeah, so that it sounds like a challenge with an individual caseworker, you know, and that can happen too. And, you know, not everybody is perfect, but you're also, you know, a person and deserve quality care from anybody. So I think what I'm hearing too, and kind of bringing together the whole conversation is, you know, ensuring that people in those roles of social worker, case worker, community health workers too, you know, are in a place where they're motivated to help and support you as a patient and you as a person with the support that you need. And I know, Laura, thank you for chatting in too, you know, financial, food, rent, and employment services, you know, all of that relieves some of the stress, because when you are stressed, it impacts your health too. So that's a great point. So I'm hearing what would make healthcare better for you, Michelle, in LA County is having caseworkers or social workers that, you know, are invested and motivated to help you with your specific needs. And Laura, you make another good point in the chat too. That provider, whether it is a caseworker, your doctor, a nurse, it has to be a good match. And sometimes it's not, and that's okay. You know, there are other individuals in those roles too. But great point, great conversation. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. I've been taking down lots of notes here. Thank you, everybody. And we're just getting down to the last 5 minutes. So I will go ahead and move on. But like I said, I've taken lots of notes and we'll get it out in follow up and we'll get to work. I did want to share, get it organized here, our community forum. And I'm going to bring up the forum. Oh, not like that. There we go. Bring up the forum here. So this is a place for the patient family partners, all of you, to connect with one another in between these meetings, right before or after. You can, it's a place where you can post and comment and connect and ask questions, get resources, ask for resources. And it is a great place. So I'll get this link to you guys in the chat. So you can feel free to head there. You can sign up. I'll log out here so you can see what it looks like. You can sign up here on the top right, and you can do your username, email address, and make up a password and create an account. And to start off, that's all you need. For everyone, it will send me an email saying so-and-so wants to join the forum. So it might take a day or two for me to approve the access into the forum, just so you know. But once you're in, you can head to this tile here, the Los Angeles County Department of Health Services Patient Family Partnership Hub. And this is where we have our posts. So we have questions that discussion questions that we had from our last or more recent Patient Family Partnership Hub meeting. Here, we have a congratulations for Carlos. The Rancho Los Amigos Amphitheater was renamed in his honor, which is really exciting. So a celebration post. And so we look forward to adding more. We'll add this discussion in here after our meeting today, including the question we talked about today, and another question of what would make DHS better. In here. So feel free to head on over to this forum to add to the discussions, to ask your own questions, get resources. It's definitely a community we will all be building together. So that is exciting. It's in its own place here. Do we have any questions about the forum? If you're ever trying to access it and it gets confusing, you're always welcome to email me. I'll also put that in the chat and we can walk through getting set up on the forum. So, oops, that was just one person. So you can get it all set up. There we go. All right. We had a question, how are we identified as possible participants? Anyone is welcome to join the forums. When I get it, I'll see your email and I'll see that you're a part of this hub since you've been to this meeting, and we will, I'll make sure to approve it. You're also more than welcome to send me an email through my email there. Just shoot me an email that says, hey, I signed up for the forum. I'm part of LA County, and we can get you all set up in the forum. A great question.
I just sent a message to Laura.
To me?
Yeah, on the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, just getting to it. All right. And Michelle, we can definitely, we'll follow up with you after for that, if that's okay with you. For sure. Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and save the date. We are coming down to, Lindsay and I are coming down to LA for our annual conference. And before that, it is, we're having our patient community open house on May 1st at the California Endowment Center from 2 to 4:30. More details to come very, very soon, but this is just kind of a save the date. We'll have snacks provided, and you are more than welcome to come learn more about this hub, learn more about other opportunities in LA County and nationwide. We'll have other patient-family partners there, and you can get connected to one another as well. So that's really exciting. And again, more information to come soon. But save the date for now. And then our next community conversation is March 27th. Same time, 3:30, same place. And we look forward to seeing you all next month. And Michelle, I did see your email come through. I will save that and we'll follow up with you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, everybody.